Well, that was a fantastic day. I got to go to 2 farms. Now, I tell you, it was odd. I don't want to pull my pants down too much here, but there was a couple of horses I really liked at a number of farms out this way, and I didn't really know where the farms were, so I'd asked directions, and lo and behold, one of them was quite close to where I was at. So I made it to 2 farms today. Some interesting looking yearlings. Very, very impressed with what I saw, both at Dublin Valley Farms and Double Spring Farms. Man, the gentleman Robert Koblitz at Double Spring Farms, if anybody ever loved horses, you would love to have his house. Now, the guy's got he's into furniture and stuff, so he's got this, just print money at the shop he has. It's like the next door. His house is absolutely beautiful, and then you walk down these steps and his barn is right there with like 10 stalls, paddocks, everything. Anybody that was ever in this business that loved horses would love to live in a place like this. It was absolutely beautiful. So I got to look at horses. He had a couple of yearlings, one that was in Lexington that looked very interesting, one that was in the Buckeye Classic. Now, he showed me the breeding. I can see, I asked him, I said, why is this Uncle Peter not in the select sale? He said, well, her breeding's a little light. It is. It's a little light. But, man, she is a gorgeous Uncle Peter filly. You'll meet her in a video later on that I did today. So I will start with some, I would say it's great news. If it had been 10 days ago, it would have been absolutely fantastic news. But now it's just depressing. I told you guys that you guys know if something goes wrong at the track, it bothers me until I find out exactly what happened, and then from there forge a path forward and how we are going to fix said problem. The debacle, the bad luck of Sunday night was really weighing on me. I haven't slept very good. Since Sunday night, and it was bothering me a lot. And Jason and I both have been working with Slim Jimmy, trying to figure out what in the name of God has happened with Slim Jimmy. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And, funny how you meet people. We sold the Betzes had claimed a horse off us last year. I forget the name of the mare. They just sold her anyway. I didn't really know them well. Scott Betts and Tim Betts and Andy Betts. I don't really know them well. Then we had the problems with My Jazz and Tim and Scott Betts. They didn't have to. After meeting them both, they're both quite busy enough. They certainly don't need to be helping people. And they did. They helped me out with My Jazz quite a bit. Found out what was wrong with her, helped me understand the problem, fix the problem, and have played a real pivotal role. Now, I know you guys haven't seen the results of that help just yet with My Jazz, but trust me when I tell you, it was an immeasurable amount of help. And then we had the Slim Jimmy. Now, Northern Blizzard arrived here today. I jogged pretty good. A little off left hind, a little off right front. The right front's at foot. The left hind is probably from taking weight, although he used to get over on the right shaft a bit, so there may be something there. A little something for the vet to look at and the blacksmith to look at. I'm not very concerned, but Tim Betts happened to be there that day, today. I said, hey, would you look at Northern Blizzard, and if you got time, I'd like you to take a look at something for me. He said, yeah, sure, no problem. So he looks at Northern Blizzard. He says, yeah, he's just a little uneven in his feet. He always was. This is what I would try and do. He said, I don't think that cut's real bad. Don't know if anything's lingering in behind there. I think it's just the unevenness of his feet. That soreness is precipitated by that. I said, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. That's great. We talked about shoeing changes, what he thought. This is a guy that's a horseman, too, and trains horses with his brother. Pretty knowledgeable guy, quite frank. Good to talk to him. He got a very nice man, too. So spoke to Tim, and wasn't really a whole lot to be done with Northern Blizzard. He gave me his thoughts, and I gave him my thoughts, and whatever. He said he really liked him. He's a gorgeous horse, and he is. He's the type of horse you want. Looks like he's built to go 54, shows 58, but I'm telling you, he will trot 54 at some point down the road, and I don't think it'll be that distant future. But most importantly, no money made in this card and one win. So, Tim knew the score. He knows the horses, when we get him squared away, is sitting on a pretty lucrative 2, 3, 4 months ahead of him, at least. So, we were talking about that, whatever, and I asked him to look at Slim Jimmy. I said, we made these shoeing changes. I thought we were going to help. The problem we had was we were really up against a time crunch here with, where in the hell am I at? Really up against a time crunch with Jimmy last week, and really what happened was when he bled, which would be 2 weeks ago, it handcuffed us. We couldn't put the work into him. If we had been able to mechanically figure out what was going on and make changes accordingly, we would have found what the problem was immediately and we would have fixed it. But we couldn't find out what it was because we couldn't work him hard enough. So we took his shoes off and we dug out his feet a little bit. We didn't want to dig. What is this thing telling me to do? It's telling me to get off this road. This is the stupidest GPS on earth. We took off his shoes and we what do you want me to do now, Car? We took off his shoes and we got looking at his feet, digging away. Looked okay. He said, geez, he's got a little bit of toe. I said, we took some toe off him, but obviously we didn't want to take too much toe off of this colt heading into a $300,000 race. We didn't want to change too much. He didn't train that bad. We just thought we had to tinker with him. So we took more toe off. Lo and behold, there is a dirty wall separation in Slim Jimmy's right front foot. It hasn't blown yet, but it was there and it was hurting him. And both bulbs of his feet, at the back of his feet, they're called bulbs, both of them were very sore. And both of his feet had issues brewing underneath. Now, the owner in me is pissed off that we didn't find that. I'm mad at myself for not finding it, but to play devil's advocate and to argue my point, being the guy with Jason in charge of the horse, we didn't find it because we couldn't. I'm not going to go, keep in mind, Slim Jimmy's defeat in Scioto, in our mind, yours, mine, was simply because he bled. Wasn't because we thought he had a foot separation. He wasn't sore on his feet to watch him walk, to watch him jog. There was no issue with Slim Jimmy with lameness. It seemed mechanical. It was mechanical. But it was mechanical in nature because it hadn't really festered to the point it was about to get to. Now, if we had just left him with the shoes he had on today, Sunday, and tried to train him and race him, you would have seen a giant wall separation blowout of Slim Jimmy. That's not to say it wasn't hurting him. It just wasn't hurting him enough to say, hey, this foot, not good. It hadn't got to that point yet. Most definitely got to a point where you try to go a quarter in 28 seconds and he makes a break in a place he'd never run in his life. Yeah. But again, knowing that I had just changed the shoes on the horse 4 days before, I'm thinking in my head it was me. It was a bad shoeing change. It was a bad call on my part. And that's why he made a break. And partially it could have been still. So, I don't think I'll sleep better tonight knowing that we found not one, but the start of 2 wall separations in Slim Jimmy's feet. We can fix them. So, if he comes out of this race comfortable and those wall separations were stopped before they really, really caused chaos, he can probably race in Delaware. Now, the shitty thing is he's going to race for a tenth of what he raced for on Sunday. I know in my heart of hearts that there was nothing I could do, nothing Jason could do, nothing anyone could do to find those wall separations quicker than we did. I don't believe so. We had no reason to go looking for them. There was no indications they were there because they were just starting. They were just starting going slow. But going fast is when you saw them. You saw them on Sunday night. So did I. We just didn't really know what they were. So, again, going back to, I was speaking to the the gentleman at Dublin Valley, Joe, and I believe Robert. I forget his name. Anyway, and we talked about yearling sales, and they were talking about what your approach is and how you look at horses and how you look at yearlings and what you're looking for. And I explained to them that we're simply after value, and I think that was I think they thought that maybe that was a cop-out, that maybe that wasn't what I was doing. And I told them, I said, I learned a long time ago that to win stake races, you have to buy a horse, train it down, it has to stay healthy for the most part, sound for the most part, train all the way down to the races, get to the races, stay healthy, stay sound for the most part. Then you have to find a good class of horses to race against, draw a good post, and hope that you get a good drive. Last I checked, none of those things were available in a sale catalog. So I'm not after the specific horse. I'm after a bunch of really good athletic colts that we can hopefully turn into really good race horses. And after that, hope that they draw against good horses they can hopefully beat, draw favorably, and if it's myself or anybody else, somehow get a good drive and end up in the winner's circle. And not have foot separations on race night. So, timing came back to bite us in the ass a little bit. Again, the other filly was sharp as a tack. I think that was just bad luck. Just bad luck. And I can swallow bad luck. I know after watching the replay, after sitting behind Sweet on Pete all year, after watching the replay 15 times if I've watched it once, I've seen her do that exact same thing and not make a break. She's just a big growthy filly that lost focus for an instant. And it cost her second, cost us a lot of money. But when it comes to Jimmy, that was just bad timing. So, I'm going to give you the videos tonight for Dublin Valley and Double Spring. Jeez, I was so worried about coming out here because it's a long drive and I don't know what I'll see. I ended up with peanuts and raisins. I didn't get corn. Ooh. Maybe I'll find corn. There's a lot of corn around here. Maybe there'll be some on the way home. But I did end up with a lot of Amish food. And I am on a diet, as I said. I broke it a little bit. And I'm drinking this root beer. It's not that good anyway. Listen, Hank's Gourmet Root Beer. Hey, you got me, Hank. Great label. You got me. Your root beer? It's just run of the mill. Come on, gourmet. You're not fooling anybody. I got some apples, raisins, peanuts, blueberries, and I did get some candy, but that's for after the diet. It's okay. I won't eat it until I'm done. But I'm going on 5 days now of only apples and bananas. Oh, we got a problem. Our bananas are getting a little sickly looking. I got to eat both of these puppies tonight. I got to get down to my eating weight, my fighting weight for Lexington. I know every year I go to Lexington, I gain 4, 5, 6 pounds. I'm okay with that. Let's just knock the 6 off and then put it back on. Seems fair. And that's the plan for Lexington. So stay tuned. We have a lot of videos. I have a list now, for those of you that are wondering. So here's my take on the Ohio sale coming up. If you want to buy Pacers and you don't buy down by the seasides, you're virtually saying I'm okay with not having a stake horse. I'm sorry. Down by the seaside now has a monopoly, after one season, has a monopoly in Ohio. He will get every good mare from here on in. And now, who knows what will happen with Lather Up. We bred Capistrano to Lather Up. Fingers crossed that Lather Up comes to challenge him. But Fear the Dragon is left in the dust and there's no one else in sight. I have a couple of Pacers I thought were good. But keep in mind, here's my take on the Pacers. I am not buying a 6-figure down by the seaside, nowhere even near there. And to buy an inferior down by the seaside, that looks bad or something, it's not worth it. They likely won't fall through the cracks. I will be watching, but it's unlikely. So my take on the Pacers is simple. Let's buy one that looks like it'll be competitive anywhere. And hey, if it's a sire stake horse, great. If it's not, then maybe it's a Buckeye horse, a fair horse. I know that we didn't have a lot of financial fun with Confederate Cruiser this year, but I did have a lot of fun. In fact, that still bugs me a little bit the other day's race. I apologize for that. but we had a lot of fun with Confederate Cruiser. And, you know, if he was a couple of seconds faster, he would be a very good Buckeye horse. So, in the pacing realm, it's going to be a difficult year to buy pacers, right? You're really going to have something fall in your lap that really shouldn't. And if it has anything to do with Down by the Seaside, I just don't know how you can possibly do that. You know, if you're a pacer guy, you're out there looking for any kind of good Down by the Seaside that is remotely affordable. Here's a news flash. You're not going to find one. So Adam Bowden's going to get all the corn this year in Ohio. He's going to get all the money this year because Down by the Seasides will be unaffordable for anybody. Now, with the trotters, I have literally 60 or 70 horses I'm looking at that I think are good. A lot of them I've looked at now. Now, I have a list. I have 3 horses that I've seen that I love. Actually, the third one I just saw this afternoon, he stands off just a hair, so I guess I could take points away from him a little bit, but video was nice, pedigree is nice, really, really good looking horse. Also, I had talked to Robert Koblitz. He's got a tactical landing colt that is a knockout at his barn. You might want a little bit much for him, I don't know, but we can't buy him, but it was really nice visiting with the man. Very nice gentleman, and I'm very happy that I drove the hour and a bit out to Fredericksburg and wherever the hell that is to visit with those guys. It was a great day. So I will put your videos up today. I did see some nice horses. I do have a list for Ohio. I do have some horses that I absolutely want, and a ghost from the past visited me today. I saw a brother to a horse that we had not that long ago that was a very, very good horse that we never got to race. That got injured. It wasn't an injury he sustained during training. It was an injury he always had in his life, and it just came back to bite him a couple of times. Many of you may know who I'm talking about. Trust me when I tell you, I told you I didn't like his brother last year. I like his brother this year. So, a lot to talk about over the next couple of weeks. I still haven't got down. I don't mean to sound like my list is completed. You know, it's not done. I'm not, I'm ready for the sale. I still got to go to Spring Haven. I'm going to get up tomorrow morning early. I'm going to train some horses at Northfield. And then I'm going to go down towards Columbus. I'd like to see Winterwood for a minute. I'd like to drop in and see Mark Adams. I want to see Spring Haven, LMN probably. Anybody else that's down there. So I got a busy day tomorrow. Aside from racing our fillies in the Buckeye Series, we have some business to do in the Columbus area tomorrow. Now, Thursday, I booked off. You might notice at Tanzanite Tricks, I'm not driving on Thursday. That's because I'm flying out of Buffalo, New York, to go to Yonkers on Friday. And I just don't want to drive 5.5 hours, get to Buffalo at 2 in the morning, only to wake up at 8 and get a flight to Yonkers. I'm going to take my time, get to Buffalo, New York in the evening of Thursday. I'll watch Tanzanite Tricks race, and then I will fly to Yonkers, fly back, and then I'm going to sneak home and watch my boy play baseball. His first and last baseball tournament of 2021 is on Saturday afternoon, so I'm going to catch as late a plane as I can back from Yonkers to Buffalo, see if I can make it home to see Ollie play baseball on Saturday. So that was my day today. We got Yes tonight. Hoping for good things with him, man. He looked like he was on fire last week. See if we can get the train back on its tracks. The pain of Sunday doesn't hurt any less than it did on Sunday, but knowing what took place does. So we will endeavor to move forward, chalk it up to bad timing and bad luck, and start looking forward to this week, next month, next year. Take care.